Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. My name is Kim and I am a reader. I don't know why I started off that way. I'm trying to figure out a good intro. I guess I do good intros. I don't know. Anyway, I'm reading cards. I'm pulling them, okay? Me and my spirit guides are going to talk about authoritarianism. And the reason why I said the word so slow is because I cannot pronounce that word. That is the topic for today. And the reason why I chose this topic is because I was talking, actually, I've been thinking about this for the past few weeks, and my guides have been showing me, if you've been with me for a while, you know that sometimes they send me messages through the media, movies or videos or articles that I feel drawn to. I know that's because of them, or they'll tell me, hey, yeah, we showed you that. Anyway, I have been seeing articles about people needing to speak out and speak the truth of what is going on here in our country. The real serious problem regarding the authoritarian government administration that we have. That's what it is. That is what's happening. And I remember months ago, I was watching a documentary about World War II, and is it World War II? Yes, World War II. And it was a documentary on Hitler. And I was like, this is the way they were doing things. I was like, this is exactly the same. This is the same thing that's happening. And truth, I always say, is what's most important in this whole situation. The truth, speaking the truth, knowing the truth, saying the scary part out loud, which is what I've been doing, I think. Not shying away from, not denying or ignoring what is happening here. We are here. I posted, I'm sort of jumping all over the place. Sometimes it can't be helped. But anyway, I posted a video about Stacey Abrams. I'll post a link here where she describes the 10 steps to becoming an authoritarian country. Okay? And that's what's happening. And we need to say it. It's not just, a joke like, oh, it's fascism. No, we're becoming that. Just little by little. And I saw this video actually with Stacey Abrams right before, a couple of hours before I was recording. It's a little late because I've been procrastinating. 7:30. Anyway, I'm jumping all over the place again. But anyway, the reason why I wanted to talk about this topic is because I was talking to my sister. It was a similar conversation we had before. It is a similar conversation we've had in the past, and some things I've said, like they want us begging, pleading, broken. That's where they want us, weak, on our knees, poor, uneducated, sick. I said those things before we got to the place that we were, and I said it again yesterday. They want to quarantine us off and put themselves in a bubble, a glass bubble, and we're just on the outskirts. They want a dystopia. They want to completely deconstruct our country. And it is scary. It's scary to live in this moment. It's not necessarily the terror of it. It's not necessarily new. I, as a black person, as a black American, in the history of this country and the terror, and still the terror, is really, it's just like, yeah, sure, we know, par for the course, we know, that's just, it's just, yeah. So while not very shocking, it's also, to me anyway, my feelings is very much like, I remember this feeling of, my sister was talking and I was looking at her and I was like, it's an incredible feeling of like unbelievableness. It's unbelievable to me. I'm like, this is unbelievable. I really feel like, I was like, this is a nightmare. This feels like a nightmare. And I'm saying this, I'm honoring my feelings. That's why I'm sharing these feelings with you, because I'm pretty sure we feel the same. I'm not being negative. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm not pushing energy that we don't want to see. I'm not doing those things. We need to speak the truth out loud. We have to say what this is. We have to acknowledge that democracy is being choked out. Now, will they succeed? No, I don't. I could see on the other side of it, but being here and present now is hard for a lot of people. It's hard for me. It's hard for me. And I think the cards I read Friday talking about the week ahead, I could see this introspection happening to me. I'm sure it's happening to the sort of lull we're in, the calmness. I feel such a great need to fall into a practice again, because I have been what's the word? It's sort of, my practice is falling off. More intentional I have to be with my life, in general. I know why what is happening because of, but we do have to, it's not traumatic. It's not, this is what they did. The closest, most known is what happened, and for me anyway, what I could relate to most, even though I wasn't even alive in existence, is Nazi Germany. Even here in this country, in the history, the civil rights movement, and it's just a lot of thoughts. It wasn't even 70 years ago that we didn't have rights. So it's a lot to contend with. It's a lot of energy. And I wanted to talk about authoritarianism versus democracy, and explore energetically where we are, where we're going, what's happening here, because We are in a crisis. There's always been crisis in this country, even when the president is someone you want to be the president. People suffer, and yes, but you can make it better, and there has been efforts. I believe that there's an effort, and to treat people equally, and to not terrorize people, and to not make them suffer and make them afraid. Like, that's literally what is happening. And I just sat, yesterday I was like, this is incredible. And I looked around my room and I was like, I've been in my room, I've been in my house, and I've been safe. And I'm like, this, you don't want to be negative. You want to honor your feelings. You want to look at the truth, though, that we are in peril. And so when you do that, at least for me, when you say it out loud and you acknowledge and accept that we are, even though there's people fighting, even though the people have the power, like, I know all of those things. We know all of those things. Spiritually, we are ascending. We are becoming stronger and really educating ourselves. It's like, well, knowledge is power. Turning away from propaganda and turning away from lies and seeking out the truth. Even turning away from rumors that may seem bad for the opposition, the ones who want to harm, who want to cause harm. Turning away from that and just sort of sticking to the facts and the truth. And I'm saying this out loud, and I'm looking at it because you have the Supreme Court, who now energetically I feel is sort of pretending that they have this authority, but yet they're giving more authority to the executive branch. Like, there's a lot happening, and I just want to take a deep look at where our democracy is, where it's falling, because I think a lot of people are complacent. I think people don't see that, or they're too afraid to, or to acknowledge that things are unraveling. When I say there's no floor, I mean that. When things are unraveling, when they have control of the media, and I don't like to sound this way. I don't like to sound like a conspiracy theorist. But when I have been looking at things with going through this last upgrade I've gone through, I've been looking at things with more clarity, and saying things. I have always been someone who just says things. It's the truth, even when it's not in a cruel way, but looking at the truth of something, even when it's like, golly, this is. But you can't ignore it. We can't ignore it. I do believe we have the power to change it, but I think when people ask me the question, I get asked often about what would it take for people to awaken, and it's happening. It's this hardship that we're in currently, which is so based on there's so many strings tied to history and the present, the hate and the fascism. There's a wave of far right fascism happening in the world, happening globally. Australia, Japan. I saw something, I don't know. This is another video I saw about there's a far right movement in Japan growing. They went from 1 seat in their government to 15 in a span of a year against immigrants. It's frightening to me. And so I hope I'm just not talking. I hope you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. And so those are the things that, even though this has existed time and again, even though as a Black person, I can look at the history of our country and what Black people alone has gone through, the indigenous has gone through, and it's not shocking, but now that feeling has worn off into something else of like, even though it's not shocking, it's still shocking to, it's incredibly absurd to be here and experience this. And it's just like a dream, a waking dream that you want to escape from. You want to wake up. And I do believe there are more of us than them, but their energy is so great, and it's, they have the power right now. And when you have the Supreme Court telling you and giving you more and more and more power, it's really just like, what is going on here? Who's doing what? And it has to be us. That's the only answer. I saw also there are protests in Nepal. Young people are protesting, and 19 people were harmed grievously. They are no longer alive. And rest in peace to them. There's something happening. And I could feel it. I could feel, like I said, where we've launched. I could feel it happening because of this. I can't be the only one who is feeling this way. Complacency is melting off, and more and more people are saying, quiet part out loud, that we are here. we are here, and we have a choice. Do we let it happen fully, or do we really do something about it? And everything I say here and have said here is for entertainment purposes only. Everything I say here is for informational purposes only. Everything I say here is alleged, even in the comments. Okay? Alright, so yeah, those are just my thoughts. I've been speaking for a while now. I didn't even realize I was speaking that long, but it was just heavy on my mind yesterday and today. And I just want to explore this topic and see where we're going, where we'll be in the future. I've made predictions. I've channeled people, and my guides have told me things. It's always the result. It's always the It's always the answer people seek. What will happen? But I want to explore this authoritarianism. I think I got it. Because it is, oh man, it's so, it is pervasive now. It is frightening. And the people who are cheering it on, they just don't, they're uneducated outside of the other things that they are. Even people who, anyway. I don't know. They just don't know that they too will suffer, is the whole thing. They don't know that they will suffer. So, anyway, let's read. It may not be long, but I'm not quite sure I'm kind of winging this reading. Actually, that's not true. I had made a little... Okay. So maybe we could explore like legal matters, civil rights, military symbolism. Let's see energetically how big of a grasp does authoritarianism, I'm getting it, has on our country. What is the energy? What is the you got cards dropping out already. Let's see if I could read them. Okay. Alright, I have, what are these? Ace of Cups in reverse. No, these are upright. So these two fell out. Ace of Cups, Eight of Swords. The Moon, Seven of Cups. Let me move this out of the way. Okay. Let's move these over just a little bit. Seven of Swords. Overarching energy of authoritarianism in our country. How big of a hold does it have energetically over our civil rights, our legal matters, over our government, our military? Temperance on the bottom. Four of Pentacles. Not wanting to. King of Cups in reverse. telling me to pull some more. Two of Pentacles. Four of Cups. Whew. Four Cups. The Lovers. Where does it go? A choice. It goes by itself, it's telling me here. Eight of Pentacles. It tells me it goes here. Nope. I'll see if that's right. Feels right. Page of Swords goes here. It goes here, actually. Okay. Five of Wands goes here. The Hangman, Seven of Pentacles. I see what you're saying to me. I see what you're saying. Goes here and here. Nope. These go together. Doesn't go on anywhere here. It goes up here. Together. Over. Okay. Oh, over the most prominent energy, if you could show me. Oh, geez, that's too many. That's too many. It's too many. Oh. Queen of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles. Okay, is the overarching, the most prominent energy here. Okay, so asking my guides, what, give me a keyword here. It feels like this energy is trying to build and to grasp onto power and not let go. You don't need to be psychic to know that. You don't need to be psychic to know that, but My guys are saying they are, Edgar, rather. I could feel so much energy, but he's saying they are trying to create a power vacuum. I said that before. And they're drawing from an energy as old as time. He's saying it won't work because there's this energy within people that is in opposition to this. And he's showing me the story of Moses and the Pharaoh. And that sort of denial of the power of the Pharaoh's power over Moses and his people. That denial of power and people saying, no, you won't do this to me any longer. The power, the energy is strong. It's so... These cards here are saying it's so many different... practical, emotional, introspective. And what this is saying here is the authoritarianism, its energy and its hold it has on our country is, it's there, it's real. 1, 2, 3 major cards only. But it feels unstable. It's funny because you have the 8 of Pentacles, you have the 7 of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Pentacles, the 3 of Pentacles, the 2 of Pentacles, all of this, these, what's the word? Attempts to expand and grow and be grounded in effect. But then you have the Moon, you have the 7 of Cups and the 7 of Swords, and you have the King of Cups in reverse, and you have the Hangman here, sort of, and the 5 of Wands, and all of that destabilizing energy. The Hangman and the 7 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles always comes up when I even refer to the administration or Donald Trump. It always comes up, this urge to grow, this agenda. Words are hard for me right now. This urge to grow this agenda, this urge to grow this idea, this sort of destabilizing of everything. just wanting to cause confusion. But the Seven of Swords is there. The Seven of Cups is there. And this whole thing right here, I'm going to get back to the Seven of Cups and the Seven of Swords. But this thing here, Seven of Swords. Page of Swords, the Moon, the Two of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups. Really feels like confusion on how to do this, how to properly hang on to authoritarianism, like this power, how it could stabilize. Is a confusion here. Have a playbook with the Page of Swords. The Seven of Cups, though, is too much. It's like a lack of discernment, a disorganization with the Two of Pentacles. The Moon here, okay, how do we do this? Being in the dark of not really... There's the people behind Trump. There's Trump himself. They're really not... They're really rather unintelligent. But they have, the Page of Swords to me is saying they have the tools to really, they have the tools provided to them with authoritarianism, how to really try to get that in and stabilize it. But the Moon tells me that they are confused in the Seven of Cups also. They're not quite sure how to steer the boat. It's not impossible. Our country, through all its terribleness and, bloody history, it just makes me question who are the ones who allowed this person to run again. That's crazy to me. What is that all about? Maybe I need to explore that in the next reading. Who are the people who allowed this man to run again, knowing that he's a criminal? Let's strip away him being privileged and white. The things that I know they know he has done, that we don't know. That we know because we know, but we don't see the evidence on paper. That he was about to be indicted for treason. You know what I mean? That's what makes me sit back and be like, this is our country. This country is built on these ideas of freedom. And putting aside slavery, enslaving people and kidnapping, stealing people's lands, horrible murder, pillaging, all of that terribleness. Not to put aside as if it doesn't matter, but when you let freedom ring and all the things that they say, free speech and what a constitution is supposed to stand for. It's just like y'all just let this, knowing full well what his plans were. And who are the ones that, is it because we have to care about process so much that you let this happen? You didn't protect our elections, you still don't. I don't. It isn't to say there are people that aren't working hard or aren't fighting, and I get that, but it's just, who has the power? There has to be something or someone that says, well, he could run. You have states that literally took him off the ballot. Is it because, is there a deal? I need to explore that too. Is there a backdoor deal where they're like, okay, you'll be in power for 4 years and then we'll just switch it up? You could ruin this country and then we'll switch back. Like, I don't understand it. Queen of Wands. I need another one. Anyway, I went on a rant. Went on a mini rant. Give me another clarifier, please. Ace of Wands. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All this power, all this willpower, all these tools. This is the authoritarianism's power here. But you don't know how to prioritize. You don't know how to organize, find balance. It's all confusion. You know, this idea of like, this illusion of like, oh, we have this grab for power. But you don't know how to get it together. You think you're gonna ignore the states? Well, no one should be doing. He shouldn't be bringing in anyone from anywhere into any state, and that's where it begins. That is what is happening. When you bring in soldiers, the National Guard or federal, you use them as green police, and it is anyway. But the power is flimsy. This Seven of Pentacles and the Hangman, you're trying to grow something with the Seven of Pentacles for your future. You're trying to make things stable, but the Hangman is blockages, pauses, delays. It's not working the way it's supposed to. You're experimenting to find power and to make things stable. You experiment. You cause fear. And this Ace of Cups is with the Five of Wands here. Like, this is the way that, you try to make people feel like they're trapped. You try to confuse them. You try to... It's like, Ace of Cups is compassion, empathy. And you try to strip that away. Make people tired. The Five of Wands is that... too many hands in the pot. Everyone has their own agenda. That's exposure as well. The Lovers is decision, a fork in a road. Their decision, whatever, we have two choices, but there's a bunch of confusion down here. Can't see the forest for the trees with the Eight of Swords. They're fighting against 50 states, and you have some states who are compliant, and you have a lot who are not compliant. And so they say, I'll take your resources, but you could only do that so much, is what these cards are saying. They don't, this Four of Pentacles here and the King of Cups in reverse. They don't have a lot of grasp on... They lack even to pretend that they have empathy and compassion. This lie of, crime. Crime is the issue. It's just so... And that's what people focus on while they still... Anyway. That has a hold, it has a lot of power, and they have the tools. They have the tools at their disposal, but they don't know what they're doing. At the end of the day, with authoritarianism, they're not regimented enough. You're dealing with, if we were all under one sort of rule, there are 50 states with different rules and regulations. You would have to change that, but they don't know that. Okay, let's look at democracy. Can you show me democracy and show me the energetic hold it has on this country still? Can you show me, please? The card came out. What time is it? Jesus, 9 o'clock already. Okay. 8 of Cups. Let's see what the other cards say. Please show me the hold democracy still has on our country. Bunch of cards wants to come out. They're just falling, huh? King of Swords. Page of Cups always comes out. Page of Pentacles. 4 of Wands. 4 of Wands. Steady foundation. Balance. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. The Hermit. I have to shuffle. I have to shuffle. I do. If those cards come up again, those were cards from the other. Too many in a row. So if they come up again, then that is struggling, as you could well see. Wheel of Fortune on the bottom. Knight of Cups. Judgment. Where does this go? Getting sleepy. Getting sleepy. Knight of Cups. Judgment. So Judgment goes alone up here. Okay. Three of Pentacles. Democracy is working as well, meaning they're doing work. Where does this go? Here. Eight of Wands. I like that goes here. Five of Swords. Right here. Let me make sure it's not the same. Let me make sure it's not the same. Okay. If it's more than four, I'd shuffle again, but Four of Cups goes here. Queen of Pentacles goes here. There's something of a knowing with democracy. The Magician. The Magician goes... Where does it go? Page of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. Page of Cups. Might need a clarifier for that one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I can see that. Death. Wow. Okay. Goes here. There's something... It goes here. It has something to do with this. It has something... These three cards are related to this. Wow. Democracy is strong. Six of Cups. I knew this was here, and I said, where is it? I felt it in the energy. I felt it in the energy. Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups, it really goes here. Yeah. Give me the ultimate. Oh, this was out. Temperance came out. I have no idea. I looked down and the card was just right here. You guys saw that, right? That's crazy. Whoa, that was crazy. Maybe I did something I didn't pay attention to it. Maybe I moved the deck. I don't know. Give me the ultimate. Two of Pentacles. Give me one more. Nine of Pentacles in reverse and the Nine of Wands. Okay. Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Came out in reverse. And the Nine of Wands. Persistence. Resilience. You're close. Guidance. Okay. Yes, it's been hard for democracy, but democracy perseveres. Two of Pentacles. The acknowledgements of the slowness, actually, because these are clarifiers for the Two of Pentacles. These, hold on, what is going on here? Constant barriers, blockages, but you persevere, you keep going. Democracy keeps going. It's not, there's a light. You see that flame there? That's democracy. Okay? And this Knight of Pentacles in reverse is also an acknowledgement of how slow democracy can work and how slow things are. And okay? But I can be honest and say I don't feel weakness or flimsiness here. And I'm not just saying that because yay democracy, but it's honest in the energy. Yes, my guys. Let's see what Edgar has to say. What is the theme here? So, can you tell me? Saying the theme is power, true power. Democracy is spiritual, he said. So it is not perfect, it's imperfect, but when done correctly, it is very spiritual. People want peace. People deserve power. Power can be very clarifying. It is not a bad thing. This is what Edgar is saying to me. Power can create deep rituals. Or, wait, what are you saying? Rituals can create deep power. Like you reversed it. I heard the other way first and you said it the other way. Okay. He's saying democracy will look different. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 major cards here. Whew. Okay. 8 of Cups here. This is interesting here because this really feels like 8 of Cups is a card of healing, a card of walking away, a card of walking into something new despite not knowing where you're going. And that's pretty much the energy of democracy. Is like, it's like we fought or tried to fight this battle, but we lost because, but it's also bringing on this very clarifying sort of feeling with the King of Swords here and the Queen of Pentacles. Is this fight is making democracy, the energy of democracy, settle in, like saying no, we are actually, it's actually secure. It's actually stable. It's in danger, grave danger, but it feels like the energy here is also saying, it's like looking at, or even maybe even making us look at the truth. Because it's like temperance, the major card here in this set, is like finding a balance, rising above something. Not doing too much is what I keep hearing. That's B. Moderance and patience, our well-being, democracy's well-being. Finding purpose again. Feels like this energy feels like things were stripped to get to the true meaning of democracy. It's like, oh yeah, we're not going anywhere, but we've changed. Maybe like a purity, quote unquote. And that's good. And then when you move over here, this mess, this is all connected. Magician, judgment, death. Page of Pentacles, Page of Cups, Six of Cups. Six of Cups are our past lessons. Six of Cups, that's really one of my favorite cards, honestly, because it's about healing. It's about things from the past. When you look back, oh, that was a good time. So it's our lessons you bring into the present. Okay. Democracy. Doing things differently. Transforming. Page of Cups and Page of Pentacles. Democracy is learning how to find a new balance and focus. Implementing itself in a creative way. Reminding people about the past times democracy has worked, but also saying, in order for it to continue to work, it has to change. The death card here, things need to be stripped, or things are being stripped away. Magician is about the power of democracy that is still here. Rebirth with judgment. An awakening. We have everything, democracy is saying with the magician. Power. It's about, magician is a card of manifestation. It's like, what's interesting? I'm looking at this, and when Edgar talks about a power vacuum, that it looks like that swirling light. This is magic. This is like the magician in this card creating something, manifesting something even, but to me it feels like the magician is pulling from this power vacuum, sort of consuming this energy itself for transformation, for rebirth. focused energy on. Then when you move down here, you 3 of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, and 4 of Wands, 8 of Wands. That sort of 4 of Wands is balance, celebration, solid foundation. 3 of Pentacles is the sort of the same. It's like you are collaborating, experimenting with a new approach, expanding, working towards stability and security. Again, very quickly it will happen. This is progression. Progression and expansion. Down here, as you move down here, it's like four of Cups, the Hermit, deep introspection. It feels like when I pulled these cards, I heard, people turning away from democracy, people being disappointed with democracy. 5 of Swords, it's, when it's the self, it's like disappointment, self-criticism, people wanting perhaps the easy way. Democracy does take work, the energy is saying here. This Hermit, same thing, the Hermit, the Lovers, is the fork in the road, the choice you have, and so is the Hermit. This is what is democracy's purpose here? What is its true purpose? This is the theme here. And power, and this is also very spiritual too. So that with the Knight of Cups, before I just jumped over, but how do we get people to not be disillusioned? This 4 of Cups, this apathy, this introspection, this refusal, or just like, disappointment. I don't even want to be involved. Y'all couldn't protect our elections. You're letting them gerrymander. That sort of energy. And let me get a clarifier, because it feels like democracy is saying, how do we, that's something we may need to rise above, that feeling for some of us. They just need to, I'm sitting here, I had so many thoughts just zoom through my mind. But they really need to bring back, what were those classes called? Social studies classes, or more than just teaching history. What was the other classes called? Civil. What were those classes called? Civics. That's it. I just remembered. They have to bring civics classes back. They need people, people have no idea how the government works. They have no idea how, they don't know that when you have an administration and they, Congress either passes a law, or they sign an executive order for something, it doesn't go into effect sometimes until the next administration. So they don't even understand anyway. So that's what democracy, the energy is telling me here. Like, they need to bring that back. People need to be educated of how civics actually works. Social studies, that was my favorite class. The sun. Yes. That's what it's saying here. Illumination, enlightenment, understanding, abundance, clarity. Democracy is strong. It has a strong hold. It is in danger, but it's something happening here where it's not lost at all. It's powerful, actually, which is a good thing. So we're, energetically we are good, despite what we have to go through. That's good to know. It's nice to see the visual, I think. Okay. Let me do the cards first. I'm gonna ask this final question, and then I will let you guys go. Please like the video if you like it. Okay. I want to ask, what am I asking? I feel like that might be repeating. Will authoritarianism take over this country? Interesting. 5 of Cups. 8 of Cups. The answer says no. The answer says no. And you got Ace of Swords, King of Cups, the World, 10 of Swords, 2 of Swords, 5 of Cups, the Empress, 8 of Cups. Will authoritarianism take over our country? No. Very strong, the energy. No. And, I know that, but I wanted to read deeper on it. The reason is no, because I'll go through this quickly. You have the Ace of Swords here. It's communication, clarity, truth. You have the King of Cups here, compassion, being in the flow, stable emotionality, speaking the truth, people having compassion, people having empathy. The world here. The world, when I ask in terms of authoritarianism, it feels like this is saying to me, the world is watching, even though the world is about success and accomplishment. But you have the 10 of Swords here. An ending. Again, this is saying to me, it just feels like to me, they have all the tools, they have everything to be authoritarianism here. but there's something delaying, blocking, stopping. And it's this 2, 10 of Swords. Two of Swords is just confusion, denial, 5 of Cups is loss. Grief, losing something. And you have the Empress here in the middle of the 8 of Cups too. It's even if it's here, or trying to implant itself, trying to what's the word, trying to integrate fully. This feminine energy is powerful. Too powerful for it to stay is what I feel the cards are saying. Okay, let's show me democracy. Will it maintain its power? Will it reign supreme in our country? Four of Swords came out. Ooh. Man. Four of Swords came out first. The answer is yes. Okay? It will reign supreme. The Chariot. The High Priestess. 3 of Swords. Knight of Wands. Strength. The Star. Queen of Swords. And 3 of Cups. 3 of Cups is the people. That's us. Why it will reign supreme? 4 of Swords, reevaluation, a period of rest to reevaluate how to approach something, how to do something. Okay, the Chariot, a battle. You have control. Democracy has control. Okay, and it's at the finish line. The High Priestess, again, what did Edgar say? That democracy is spiritual. The High Priestess, a spiritual experience, ritual, power. The 3 of Swords. The 3 of Swords, the message for the, 3 of Swords is, disappointment, betrayal, brokenhearted, grief. But the 3 of Swords is it encourages you to learn from that pain and to let it transform you and reshape you into something. The Knight of Wands, the Knight of Wands, I was about to say something, that's why I didn't. This is YouTube. The Knight of Wands is about power, taking inspired action, progression, strategic action. Strength is resilience. Strength, honestly, why the democracy will reign supreme is because with strength, it's just like I always say, you don't have to do much. You don't have to force things. It happens organically. But it's like persevering, resilience, being able to deal with the absurdity of what we are experiencing. Really, truly dealing with it and contending with it and saying, like, all right, this is crazy. This is how I'll fight, though. 3 of Cups. That's us. Celebration, harmony. Peaceful protests. Queen of Swords. The truth. Analyzing information. Knowing what's real and what's not. Stoicism. Also, how you apply the truth. The Star. Power, guidance, inner guidance. Okay. There's something I was about to say, my mind went blank. Give me a second, guys. Bear with me. Your faith. Believing in democracy. This is why it will reign supreme is the reason why the sun came out in the cards I just pulled for democracy. Really, that question of, dealing with the apathy, dealing with the, I don't know is it worth it? They have all this power and they're just corrupt and everything, no one's doing anything. That kind of feeling, we will overcome that for democracy. Faith, okay? Believing that we could get through this. So that is why democracy will reign supreme. I hope you guys watch this video to the end. That's all I got. Please like the video. It came out much longer than I expected. That's okay, I think this ended well and on a positive note, and I didn't expect it to end this way. I feel good. I'm glad I explored this because, even knowing, okay, you see predictions and you kind of know like, oh, we'll be okay on the other side. But you need to explore, I feel, everything. And I do think it's important to really recognize what is going on and how you could cope and how you could fight it. Okay, we're going to be okay. Democracy will reign supreme. I will see you guys Thursday? Not Wednesday, because I have so much to do Wednesday, but I will see you guys on Thursday for Q&A, okay? But like the video, let me know what you think, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye!